What's up, traders? You're welcome back to this channel. It's the King's Crown Academy where traders are crowned. You know how it goes. Today, I'm going to be breaking down a live chart analysis of Euro USD, right? And I'm going to be giving you a 1 month projection of where price is heading to. So, in case you're just joining this channel for the first time, you can like, subscribe, right? Comment, drop your comments. I really need your comments, okay? Because we're trying to grow a community, right? So, let's go into the video. The dollar index and the Euro USD, they have like an opposite, they move in an opposite direction. Okay, if the dollar index is buying, then the euro is selling, right? But if the dollar index is selling, the Euro USD is buying. So don't ask me how. This is how it has been. Okay, and first, when you open up your chart, first thing you need to look at is the dollar index. The dollar index is like the thermometer that gives you what happens in the forex market day to day. It shows you where the dollar is rising, if the dollar is falling, right? So yeah, on my dollar index, okay, first I'm going to take off everything on this chart right now. I'm going to remove every drawing. So let's go. Now, I told you I'm going to be using a top-down analysis, okay? Top-down analysis, we're going to start from the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame, we're going to break it down. Remember, I'm analyzing Euro USD in relation to the dollar index. Okay, now let's go. First, what you can see here, given the monthly time frame, you can see that this market is rising. Okay, it's a bullish trend. Okay, now let's draw our trend line. I take my trend line from here and then I stretch it out like this. Now you can see somewhere here, let me mark out this touch. You can see somewhere here the trend line has been hit, okay? And then this black line on my chart, just like the support and resistance zone. Okay, now without further analysis, you can see that the dollar index here has just found support. Okay, it has had several touches on this zone, this axis, right? Look at touch 1. It has had several touches here, guys. Touch 1, touch 2, several touches on this side. So we're expecting a bounce off to the upside, right? Each time price touches this support, there's a reaction. You can see almost 5 touches, right? 5 touches. Okay, now let's go into the weekly. Okay, the weekly, you can see that buyers are already stepping in. Buyers are already stepping in. This chart is already going up. All right, liquidity has been swept down here. It has found support. The US dollar has found support. Okay, now we're expecting a bounce off, at least a bounce off to this point. At least a bounce off to this point. All right, now another way you can look at this is in form of accumulation manipulation, right? Let's say this is accumulation, right? And then there's a manipulation. All right, and now we're expecting a distribution to take off. Distribution to take off, right? Okay, but in relation to the Euro USD, let's see what happens here with the Euro USD. This is a weekly time frame, guys, and dollar has been falling, but yes, I think it recently found support. Okay, found support. And then there is a CRT here. I taught you guys, those of you that watched my first video, I taught you guys about the CRT, right? So there's a CRT here. Let me mark out my CRT candle. There's a CRT here. and then this is the low. The low has been swept. Let me zoom in so you can see that clearly, right? The low has been swept, right? So we're heading at least, we want to see the dollar bounce off, at least bounce off to 100, right? To 100. Want to see the dollar bounce off at least to this resistance zone here. Okay, now let's go over to the Euro USD. Now back to the monthly time frame of the Euro USD. Let's see if we can find our trend line. I take this trend line from here. I want it to have multiple touches as possible. Let's see. Okay. From the monthly trend line, Euro USD, I can see clearly that there was a break of this trend line and there was a retest of the monthly trend line. So there was a break here and then there was a retest here, right? And then the retest pushed price high up to this point. So we're expecting a pullback at least before continuation. Okay, so let's mark out where the last touch happened. Now this becomes our first area of support. Now let's mark out where the other touches happen. The touch here is marked resistance, another resistance, and pretty much another zone here. Okay, now we've clearly marked out different zone using this trend line. Okay, now let's go into the weekly time frame. Let's see what's happening there. Now you can see same thing with the dollar index, the opposite this time around. Okay, price has just hit a major resistance zone. Okay, and now we are seeing some rejection, a manipulation has happened, a liquidity sweep has happened. All right, and you can see this zone here, very tough zone here, very tough zone here, right? This zone here has been here for like February 2022, and then this is the second time price is coming to that area. Okay, so we're expecting a rejection from this zone here, the sellers resting on this zone. Okay, now let's see if there is a CRT candle manipulation already. Yes, there's a liquidity sweep which has resulted to a manipulation. Okay, so at least we're expecting the low of this candle. Okay, my blue line here is my moving average. You can see around this area there's a clear support around this area. Okay, there's a clear support around this area resting on the moving average. Okay, and then it bounced up to this level, right? It bounced up to this level. Now let me take this off. Now let's go down to the daily time frame now. So we're expecting a move. We're trading from zone to zone. Okay, we're expecting a move down to somewhere here, or even probably an extension downward. Okay, but first we're expecting a move at least down to this area. Okay, down to this area. Now let's go over to the daily. This is the weekly. Let's go over to the daily. Okay, What can you see here, guys? It is the KCM. That is the King's Crown model. That is our model. Okay, and this is the falling knife strategy. Whenever you see this, it's a very strong reversal pattern. It's called the head and shoulder. The head and shoulder, right? Whenever you see this, it's a very powerful reversal sign. Okay, now let's see. Here is the left shoulder, and there's the head, and there's the right shoulder. So we're expecting a move like this, right, on this Euro USD chart. Okay, let me zoom in so you see clearly what I'm saying, right? So you can see this strategy is very powerful. I think that Willis has taught this strategy, right? It's very powerful, very, very powerful. Okay, now you can see there's a manipulation up here. Let me call out these zones, right? So there's a manipulation that has gone up. There's a manipulation around here. Liquidity swept, so there's a manipulation here. So this was the last high that was swept, so it was used as liquidity. And remember, this is a supply zone. This is a supply zone. The black line is our supply zone, so we're expecting sellers to react from this area, and which they are doing already. Sellers are already reacting. So this is our supply zone. I'm calling out, right? This is our supply zone, and then there's a head and shoulder. Okay, there's a head and shoulder pattern. So many traders must have gone in for this trade now, so we're expecting a short position, right? Stop loss above here, stop loss above here, and then we're expecting a short position down here, right? At least a correctional move for the US dollar. Okay, at least down here. This is our take profit. Okay, this is a 1 to 5 trade. This is a 1 to 5 trade. A 1 to 5 trade, guys. This is 1 to 5. Okay, so in case you are looking to take a trade on Euro USD with us, okay, so Euro USD has hit a major supply zone that's giving us a head and shoulder pattern, right? Liquidity has been swept, the upside. The sellers are taking over the market right now. As you can see, in relation to the dollar is trying to have a correctional move. We're expecting the dollar to buy up to this, to at least 100, right, which is the same correctional move for the Euro USD. Okay, the dollar also has given us a reversal head and shoulder. Liquidity has been swept. The dollar index liquidity has been swept. Liquidity, guys, you know, market can't move without liquidity sweep. Liquidity is the lifeblood of the market. Of course, you know that, right? So this is a CRT manipulation, right? So the low has been swept. I keep telling you about CRT, right? CRT, if you can understand it, you can catch a very big move. The smart money moves this way. Okay, so this is it. There's a sweep here, and this is the reversal. Okay, this is the reversal candle, right? Now we're expecting it to go up, giving us an inverse head and shoulder, right? Take it here, your left, then your head, shoulder, then your right shoulder. So we're expecting a corrective move up to this side. Okay, and that's that on Euro USD. But let's go over to the 4-hour on the Euro USD chart earlier, right? Let's see. Now, guys, you have to wait for confirmation. We're expecting the euro to close bearish, a full body candle close below here, right? So let's go to the 4-hour, at least a daily candle close beneath that level, right? But going to the 4-hour, you can see that the move has already started. Okay, it has started already. So we've gotten our confirmation already for the sell, right? And then stop loss above this area, stop loss above here, stop loss above here. Okay, so we've gotten our confirmation already. This is the head and shoulder pattern, right? And then we can see clearly that this chart is closing below our moving average, right? So there's a full body close here on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, guys, the higher time frame is the key to getting profitable. Okay, so this is a full body close. Each candle here is 4-hour closing below our moving average. Okay, giving us a clear sign that the sellers have taken control. Now look at this whole liquidity here has been swept. This whole liquidity here has been swept. All right, so there's a trend line break here. Okay, there's a trend line break here. Then we're heading, if you're taking this trade, this will be your first TP, this will be your first take profit on this trade. First take profits, guys, first take profit. And then there's another thing we use to enter our trade. We use Fibonacci. So I'm going to do a separate video on the Fibonacci and how you use it to mark out key levels and take good trades. But first, let me stretch out my Fib. Let me see. Take it. And of course, our first TP is near the 50% Fibonacci zone. Okay, but we are expecting a complete reversal from the 23.6%, also marking an area of order flow. This is an area of order flow. This is where the last accumulation happened, right? This is an order flow area. Of course, expect another video on order flow to understand how it works and how you use order flow to catch your trades. Okay, so we're expecting a move using this, and we're expecting a reversal, a short-term reversal from this 50% here after taking this liquidity. Okay, and then with that, I take off my feed. This is the last order flow area. Okay, now if you're entering this trade, this is it. You wait for New York section to like have the last pullback, and then we're hitting this trade, and then our final take profit will be somewhere around here. Okay, remember we're trading from zone to zone, but if price break below this area, that means there's a possibility of the price to continue down to the next area of demand. Of course, EURUSD has been on a major uptrend, so we're not expecting it to fall up to this area, but at least 50% of this overall range, 50% of this overall range is enough, guys. All right, and that is our 1:5 hour trade. Okay, heads and shoulder pattern confirmed, trend line break confirmed, liquidity sweep confirmed, CRT confirmed, supply zone tapped, rejection, everything is aligned, right? You can see, go to 1 hour, and then you can see your entry, right? So there's a complete break, and then the price headed for a retest. So we're still waiting to see if this is the last retest of this area here, and then yeah, you continue to trade down. Okay, so if you go to the 1 hour, you can fine-tune your stop loss. But the sell has started. Okay, the sell has started. So that's it on this video. That's how we plan this trade, and like I said, this is gonna go on and on and on. This is how the market moves. Okay, so guys, in case you're thinking of taking this trade with us, this is the EURUSD chart, breaking down from the monthly top-down analysis of giving you the breakdown to where we think it's gonna go. So you can copy this exact trade and let's see if it eventually plays out. Okay, that's it on this video. You can You can see that our strategy is simple price action, right? It's clear, it's plain as ABC. Okay,